Him leave the garage and walk to the little driver's room on the side, and very unlike Lando, sort of punched the flimsy, sort of makeshift wall as he walked through.
Lando Norris has been with the McLaren team since 2019, and recently in 2021 signed a contract extension till 2025, making him be with the team for a total of 6 years. McLaren since 2019 has really not accomplished what the goal for McLaren has been. Sure, are they a team that's improved a lot? They have. They definitely went from a team that was super far down the grid and struggling and GP2 engine to a team that can contend in the midfield, maybe fight for podiums. But that does not signify a successful team in Formula One. And Lando Norris, in my opinion, is a top 5 driver, and I believe he is leaving in 2023. Before the video starts, please leave a like and subscribe. We are halfway to 1,000, and thank you all so much. I appreciate the support so much. It really means the world. Let's start the video on McLaren and Lando Norris. So Lando Norris, a driver that I think excels really all around the grid. He is, in my opinion, the most complete driver with the exception of Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton on the grid. And yes, I do believe he is better than Charles Leclerc. You give him that Ferrari, I think he would outperform Charles. Maybe a hot take, but to me, Lando Norris is championship material. We have not seen him in a championship winning car, but since Lando has been in the sport, he doesn't crash a lot. He overtakes a lot. He is a very slick but smooth driver, very steady on the wheel. He drives the most unusual car on the grid. Give this guy a better car and he will outperform it much more better than this actual McLaren. He has shown signs of stardom all the time. He was really the only unusual podium that we had in 2022. And I believe in 2023, this McLaren car will be nowhere near a podium. It just came out an article that Lando Norris was so frustrated after testing that he punched a wall. And I believe this to be true. Who would not be frustrated sticking with the team, signing contract extension, just believing in this McLaren project and nothing is really going right? It feels like when the team takes one step forward, they take 2 steps back. That is how I feel McLaren has been for the past years. And listen, one thing to point out, in my opinion, if you're a Formula One fan, a couple things only make sense. You gotta love Ferrari, you gotta love McLaren because of the history. They're just those types of teams. Nobody really has a full hatred for McLaren or Ferrari. You gotta like the team somewhat, and McLaren really is that way. Everybody hopes for McLaren to be good. I don't feel like everybody feels the same way for the other teams on the grid, but McLaren is one of those teams. Fun fact, when I started watching Formula One, McLaren was my favorite team. Till a silly little team Aston Martin came in. But the biggest thing is that I think that Lando Norris will not make it out of 2023 without looking for another team on the grid. And I'll tell you that team by the end of the video, who I think that team will be that Lando Norris joins. Firstly, McLaren has not shown any signs of improvement going into 2023. Sure, the season has not started yet, but that testing was atrocious. With a frustrated Lando Norris, with a frustrated actually Oscar Piastri saying even the car was weird to drive. The McLaren team has made plenty of statements talking about this year's car is not an improvement. We are waiting on upgrades, which should be coming in Baku. The team is very pessimistic about the car. And sure, we do hear it every single year that some teams just genuinely aren't happy with how the car is in what their performance is. So I get it. It does happen, but to the extent of what happens for McLaren, they consistently are failing in what their objectives are. I know they're waiting on a new wind tunnel. I know there's a lot going for them in the future, but there are teams with a lot less that outperform McLaren big time. Lando Norris has achieved a lot of podiums, so I get his stress. He loves his team. It's the team that's brought him up into the sport. He has made this foundation to where everybody really loves Lando in that McLaren squad. But you know what? In this instance, he's got to take a Fernando Alonso. I think he needs to leave McLaren and go towards a Ferrari seat that I believe will open up by the end of the year. If Lewis retires, Charles to Mercedes and Lando to Ferrari. That is what I believe is happening. And I think with just the incentive of if McLaren is not performing, he's leaving. He is leaving in 2023. He needs to take that jump. I think he needs to be adamant on looking for a top team that will genuinely take out the most in his performance. Hey, maybe even Red Bull would not be a bad seat for Lando Norris, taking Sergio Perez's seat if he does not perform in 2023. Lando is a driver that I think can compete with Max Verstappen and anybody in the best of the best. He's proved that in his junior career. He has proved that through his Formula One career. He is an animal, and I really hope that we get to see Lando Norris actually fight at the top in 2024. And I genuinely hope that 2023 can be an okay year for McLaren. Can they improve what was kind of a oversteery, understeery car and just a complete mess in testing? I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out. Let me know your thoughts down below. What do you guys think of Lando Norris, and what do you guys think of McLaren really going into the 2023 season? Please leave your thoughts down below. Please leave a like and subscribe. It would mean the world, and peace.